Let them eat cake.
Whoopsie. That was a spectacularly poor choice of phrase to use in connection with anything to do with the Met Gala. I mean, you can practically hear them dusting off the guillotine in the background. And I don't want to get into who this person was or how daft that was to actually say that when you're on your way to a convention of millionaires and billionaires. But I do want to talk about the history of that phrase, because as this is being discussed across social media, it has become apparent that there's quite a lot of confusion about the history of that phrase. Let them eat cake, or cueille de la brioche, as it would have been in French, which translates to let them eat brioche bread. But that doesn't sound as good as let them eat cake in translation, so I guess we just stuck with let them eat cake. Most people correctly point out that that is attributed to Marie Antoinette, but she absolutely, definitely did not say it. The origins of that phrase go back to Jean-Jacques Rousseau's 1765 book, Confessions, where he talks about a princess, just an anonymous princess, who is told that the poor people are starving, they don't have enough bread, and she says, well, can't they have cake instead? But she's never named, and Marie Antoinette, although she was alive at the time, she was like 9 years old in 1765, so he's definitely not talking about her. But I have seen people saying that the phrase, let them eat cake, was used in the French Revolution, that it was attributed to her at the time, and that it was instrumental in bringing about the revolution, and that is not true. It wasn't used at the time. Historians are pretty firm on that one. In fact, I think it was like 50 years after her death the first time that it's actually attributed to her. It was the French author Alphonse Carr who attributed it to Marie Antoinette, and I think that was in like 1843, so she was well gone by that time. The other thing that I've seen is a little bit of confusion around what the phrase itself actually means. I've seen some people say that it was almost like goading the poor, like let them eat cake, as in like, you know, come and take our cake from us, I dare you. It definitely didn't mean that. The phrase works so well because it really encapsulates how unaware the aristocrats were, the Queen was, of the plight of the working class. The phrase means, so apparently she was told, she wasn't, but the story goes that she was told that the poor people of Paris were starving, they didn't have enough bread. And she was so out of touch, she went, oh, well, that's sad. Can't they just have cake instead? And even though she never said it, it so brilliantly encapsulates what was going on in France around the time of the Revolution, which was that the rich really did not have a clue how poor people were living their lives or what they were suffering with. And interestingly, there are other variations of this phrase. There's a 7th century Chinese legend of an emperor who said, oh, can't they eat porridge, when he was told that the peasants didn't have enough rice. So even though Marie Antoinette definitely didn't say it, you can see the power of the phrase because it's pissing people off again today that an influencer would say it on their way to the Met Gala. But she didn't say it, and no one was saying it at the time of the revolution either.